Hello. I'm going to talk with you now about the Luminous Mind Retreat for about 5 or 6 minutes to give you an overview of what the retreat is so that you can see if it's something that appeals to you. So the first thing to say is that to me this is the retreat I would have always wanted to attend. I mean, I kind of still do want to attend if it was offered and I could go to it. But it's a unique opportunity. I don't know of a retreat like this being offered anywhere else. And it's really an intensive practice retreat, being 2 weeks. There is the 1 week option also, but 2 weeks, if you can do it, is a really great amount of time because it's longer than most retreats, but not as demanding as a month long. And the instruction is really detailed about the practice. So there aren't talks given that really don't relate to what you're experiencing. And you'll have a session with the teacher, with me, every other day for 15 minutes. So there's really a lot of detailed instruction that is really tailored to you and your practice and where you're at. So the first week, the retreat starts with really the view of awakening, the overall view that we are doing the practice within. So however we're practicing, we're seeing that how this fits into the context of awakening, which is always present, whether we're meditating or not. The awakened state is always in us as what we are at our deepest level. So the retreat starts with that. And then we'll talk some about bodhicitta, our inspiration for practice, our intention to practice, not only for ourselves, but for the benefit of all beings. And then the first week will primarily be on the Shamatha practice. So Shamatha is concentration and serenity together. And in this, we'll talk about how to do the practice, a lot of nuances. You'll have a chance to really fine-tune your understanding of the practice that you can use later on other retreats. And there's the possibility of access concentration arising. And I've taught a lot of these retreats now, the 2-week Shamatha only retreats. And most people do experience access concentration on those retreats. So it's a great opportunity to really stabilize your awareness and deepen and really feel the power of your own consciousness in coming together and unifying. And also seeing the patternings that you have, your personality and ego patternings that keep you in the me, and to experience at times some freedom from that. So then at the end of the first week point, beginning the 2 weeks, there's 2 tracks that you don't have to know which one you want to do even when you arrive. I'll help you work with that. The first track is staying with the Shamatha practice for the entire retreat. And in doing that, there's the possibility of the mind stream coming together even further and the possibility of jhanas. And we never know with any practice what is going to happen for someone or what their potential is, but that is for the 2 week. 2 weeks is really about the minimum amount of time that is needed for the possibility even of jhanas. So, and jhanas are a non-dual state. That's what's valuable about them. Non-duality is a taste of the awakened state. And in the Shamatha practice, that is potentially available through the coherent mind stream, through the mind stream coming together and unifying in that power of the laser-like awareness in the Shamatha, in the concentration. On the second track then, you have the option to go on to Dzogchen. Dzogchen is a Tibetan practice, and a lot of people who come to my retreats are mainly on a Theravadan path and don't know much about it, or they don't like Tibetan Buddhism because there's so much cultural overlay. Really what this retreat does is takes all that off and takes off all the teachings that aren't absolutely necessary to do the practice and just focuses on the actual meditation instructions. And so in that track, for those who are on that track, there'll be a couple days of Vipassana where we have an open monitoring type of awareness letting whatever's arising come in without being attached to the pleasant or pushing away the unpleasant. And then we go on to the self-transcending practice of Rigpa, in which non-duality is also a potential, just like it's a potential in the Shamatha with jhanas. In Rigpa, it's a momentary practice. So we have the possibility, with enough stability and enough coherence of the mind and enough attention, to experience non-duality in a momentary way with the eyes open. And so both of these, of course, are present moment practices. They're both aiming at non-duality, but they're coming at it from different ways. With the Shamatha, you really need the concentration. With the Rigpa, you don't need the same level of concentration, but it's momentary. You know, if one has the potential to realize Rigpa, to experience non-duality, it's going to be just for like a snippet. So both of these are great practices, and what to me is really wonderful about the Dzogchen offering is that I've been to a lot of Dzogchen retreats and talked to others who've been on them, and there's so much teaching, and it's great, the teaching is excellent, but there's like 6 hours of talking a day and you don't really get to practice that much. So at the end of a 2-week or 10-day Tibetan retreat, you have to go on another retreat to actually have enough time to do the practice. So what's happened here is that the Shamatha is part of Dzogchen, so both tracks need that equally. But then people who choose the Dzogchen track have a chance to see and learn about the Dzogchen practice and potentially experience non-duality even without the level of concentration required for jhana. And both tracks really give us the possibility of cutting through conventional reality to the deeper truth of the awakened awareness of non-duality. And even experiencing that for a short time is really, can be very profound. And the other thing that a retreat like this retreat really gives you is deepening your understanding of your own psyche, of the own inner workings of your ego, and how that freedom can happen even long term. And also to learn more about your practice so that you get better at what you're doing on retreat. And that's a big focus of my teaching and our teaching when I teach with Stephen, is really helping you learn that and carry that with you to your next retreats. So that's a little overview of the Luminous Mind Retreat. People have really liked this retreat, and you will get both teachings. So you don't have to worry whatever track that you decide to be on. We've even had some people jump over to the Dzogchen track the last day or two, which is fine. You will get both teachings at the end, and the audios will be available for both, so that you can take both of those with you as you go on in your practice. So if you're interested in this, and this resonates with you, I'd really love to see you on the retreat.